Cooking greens, particularly kale, really one of my favorite and greens in the whole world. And this is an interesting kale. It's not your big curly leaf kale, although you would cook curly leaf kale the exact same way we're going to cook this darker leaf kale. And one way to do it, people also often ask, well, what do I do with the stem? Well, you can just remove the leaf right from the stem by merely sliding the knife down the stem. Easier way, if you don't have the time or the knife, you can just pull the leaf right off the stem, just like that. Either way is fine. And you can save the stems to be chopped up and added to soup, right? Or to steam it, add it to stir-fried vegetables. So the whole vegetable works. You're not wasting any part of it. So the nice thing to do then is wash the kale really well. You've got all your leaves here. You know, you can get the kids to do the cutting or the pulling of the leaf off the stem. Give them something to do, get them working in the kitchen. And then you take a skillet and you're going to add just about a ½ inch of water to the bottom of the skillet. That's all. It doesn't require very much. And then a few drops you could use. I like to use a little tamari soy sauce, but for those of you who don't want to use the soy sauce, then you could use just a little bit of sea salt. All right, so that's the Celtic sea salt that we're using there. And then into the skillet goes the kale, just like that. Simple, no muss, no fuss, no oil, right into it. So we're going to do what is called a water saute. So these are going to just cook in the water, absorbing the water, right? Good energy. We're going to put it right there onto the flame, turn it on, cover it. And while that's cooking, and it'll only take really about 3 to 5 minutes, then you can go about getting the rest of your meal prepared. So we're back, and the kale is just about to come out of the pan. You can see it's nice and tender, beautiful. Beautiful. You know, kale is a summer food, but it's also really best in the fall when it's gone through nice, crisp little freeze, and then it's tender, just so beautifully tender and delicious. I'm just going to bring my kale over here so you can see how I'm going to do this. I'm just going to lift that back up here. So I'm going to take the kale and remove it to the colander. It's still a little wet, so I want to bring it over. You know, you could take it over your sink and just drain it, and then what you'd do is you'd run a little cold water on it. That cold water stops the kale from cooking because you still want it to stay that crisp green but tender. You don't want to overcook your kale and lose the necessary nutrients. All right, so I ran the kale under the cool water to stop it from cooking, and now I can handle it. All right, the pans are still a little warm, so I'm just going to bring it back over here to the oven. And then I'm going to take the kale and I'm going to bring it out here onto the cutting board. Still a little wet, so we can just use this towel, right, to keep the water off. Take my knife. I'm just going to bunch the kale up like this, and I'm going to cut it just like this. Nice and simple, nice and easy. Now, with this kale, you can saute some garlic and a little olive oil and then toss the kale in there with a little tamari or a little sea salt, and you have delicious, right? Or you can use it in a soup, or you can use it in a salad as a cold cooked vegetable salad. Easy, simple, delicious, loaded with nutrition. Calcium, magnesium, this is the food you want to have almost every day. At least 3 to 4 times a week.